What's up, YouTube? For today's video, we're the full Igglybuff evolution team. So we got Igglybuff, Jigglypuff, and Wigglytuff to make up the team of 3. I'll be using all these 3 and these shiny sets to make up a team of 6. And it's a really, really good battle to this team. I tried to use all the abilities in this line as well as usual that I do with all my evolution teams. If you do want to check me out on Twitch, people, this is where I do all my theme teams, my Pokemon sweeps, I'm shining out to all the forms of Salty Entertainment there. Link is in the description below. Come and drop me a follow if you haven't already. And let's get into both of these battles. Now, this was a really, really cool theme team. This one was against Daniel. If you can guess what the theme team is, let me know in the comment section of the video. And of course, if you enjoy the videos, people, please drop a like. Really helps me out, and I definitely appreciate that. And comment if you do enjoy the video too, or just something about it will be absolutely awesome. So first Pokemon we got is the Bravery. That shiny's looking pretty fresh, I've got to admit. Now I've got my Igglybuff here with Endeavor, Endure, Body Slam, and Seismic Toss. Now this set is only max speed. I didn't give it any other EVs at all. In fact, I had this one with very low IVs and health. I think it's only got like 1 or 2 IVs and health. So it sort of works kind of nicely with Endeavor. Now, the strategy I've got is we've got Endeavor and we've got Custard Brew. So what I want to do is get the Endure up. But unfortunately, the Bravery used Rain Dance. I'm like, man, do I take the risk of double Endure? Is it going to fail? And it didn't fail. I was very, very lucky. Now Bravi's going to go for a Hurricane. With the Hurricane, it's going to obviously be 100 actually, and does a lot of damage. Doesn't take Igglybuff out. It's got a decent amount, it's got a lot of health, Igglybuff, even with no EVs and stuff like that. So I managed to live it, and it's going to put me in Custard Brew range. This is going to give me priority, and I'm going to be able to get the Endeavor off. However, the Bravery's going to be swapping out here, and we've got the Dreadnought swapping in, so I'm going to do a lot of damage to Dreadnought, which, wasn't all that bad, because well, if this is a Swift Swim set, that's going to be, very, very handy. So I've almost put the Dreadnought out of action here. I've got on this one Seismic Toss too, but I was thinking to myself, I doubt I'll be able to outspeed it, I went for a double Endure. Like, I'm not going to outspeed, let's go for double Endure. And due to pure luck here, we've got a G-Max Dreadnought, which is very, very lucky because it's going to use an attacking move, obviously, and I can stall 1 turn and Dynamax out. I was very, very close to go for Seismic Toss, and I'm very glad I didn't do that. Now, Igglybuff's ability is going to be Cute Charm, because I thought that'd be quite interesting if I'm able to maybe possibly get a couple of Endeavors off, or a Body Slam at the same time. I could get a Paralyze and the Infatuation. That could work too, but most of the time it would be getting that Endeavor off. So I went for the Endure, as I mentioned before. Here comes the G-Max Stone Surge, and I'm going to be able to live that one. It's good to see G-Max Dreadnought used there. It's got a cool G-Max move, but most people don't like to use the G-Max. They like to keep the, the Swift Swim one going there, so it can use a water-type move to double its speed instead of G-Max Stone Surge. So that's going to be the end of Igglybuff there, but Igglybuff, a solid performance there, put Dreadnought down to a little bit of health, and used up 2 of the turns of Dynamax, which is great. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to swap in my other Igglybuff. This one isn't going to be too helpful. I've got this as a Focus Sash set, so obviously its Focus Sash is going to be gone. I've got Counter, Protect, Uproar, and Flamethrower. So as you can see, it's kind of useless in this battle. And really, its best thing here was to use Counter and Focus Sash combination on physical attackers. So I just went for any move there. They actually went for a Max Guard. I was like, okay, well, Igglybuff is going to be able to live this turn, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe to see what move I was going to use, but that's the end of the rain. It's a Whirlpool set, so some sort of trapping set. I still do a lot of damage from Whirlpool here. I just went for Uproar as my best move, hoping it would take it out, and it didn't. It's so weak. So the EV spread on the Igglybuff here is max special attack, modest nature, and max speed. I've got the ability Competitive and the item Focus Sash, as I mentioned before. So Dreadnought's going to take me out of the round, which is all round pretty mean, and it's going to have the Throat Spray as the item too. So it wouldn't really be able to make use of Throat Spray and G-Max. So I sort of understand why they wanted to use it outside that. So I'm going to bring in my Wigglytuff here, and this Wigglytuff set is my, I think this is my physical one. Play Rough, Drain Punch, Bounce, and Body Slam. Max Attack and Max Speed, Jolly Nature. And it's got, I think it's got Frisk as well. I tried to, as I mentioned, I tried to use, wait, no, this one doesn't have Frisk. It's got, I think it's got, actually, no, it does have Frisk or Q-Charm. One of the two. It would have come up on the screen anyway. So go for Dynamax Wigglytuff here. What I wanted to do is I want to try and get a Max Airstream or a Max Knuckle going on this thing. It's not really that great in physical attack or speed, but, it worked out pretty well. So we're outspeeding the Dreadnought. They're getting a Max Knuckle, which is going to take out the Dreadnought, giving me a +1, which is going to be very, very nice So I'm going to be hitting like a lot harder than I did before, right? That was the idea anyway. Now, the item I've got on this is the Citrus Berry, so that'll allow me maybe to get, take a little bit of damage or set some up in Dynamax Max Knuckles. So out comes the Bravery here. Now, Bravery, I can go for a Max Airstream to boost my speed and then Max Strike maybe. So I started to go for the Max Strike, right, and it was a disaster. Bravery went for a flight, and it's going to dodge my Max Airstream. It's an absolute disaster because that's using up a turn of my Dynamax. So now Bravery will be able to hit me with like a pretty strong fly there. It does pretty good damage to Wigglytuff, considering it's in, it's Dynamax. So I went for the Max Strike there. I was like, I hope this thing doesn't have like Defiant or something like that. And it lived. I was like, man, I thought it would actually take it out at +1, and Defiant is going to kick in. The only good thing, right, is it did get a drop in speed, so Wigglytuff does definitely have a great chance of outspeeding this thing, because I was running Jolly Nature 2, and Bravery, it's not really the fastest Pokemon out there, it's got alright speed, but nothing like, blistering like Regieleki or something like that. So popping a Body Slam there, riding on the Bravery, and that's going to be the end of Bravery, but pretty interesting set right there, to say the least. So it's like a mixed set with rain. It had like Rain Dance, Hurricane, and Fly. Next Pokemon is Espeon. This thing was a troll, like real talk. It's going to go for Attract on Wigglytuff. Now, with all these attack boosts, or the +1 at attack, I really want to land like one attacking move on Espeon, because I felt like it would do a lot of damage, like maybe even take it out. So it's going to go for Yawn, which is really annoying, because I'm going to have to obviously swap out here if I don't get an attacking move off, and I got a Body Slam off. Like, that's really, really good. Body Slam does solid damage, but it doesn't take Espeon out. Now, I don't really want to go asleep against this thing in case it's got some sort of like scumbag attacking move or setup. And I went into Jigglypuff. Now, this Jigglypuff was a choice banded set, I do believe. I'll go over it in a sec. And now the Espeon's going to go for a Swagger. So I'm like, actually, this is really, really good. So I've got Double Edge, Wild Charge, Fire Punch, and Focus Punch. And I've got the choice band as the item. Now, I've got the Cute Charm as the ability, I've got Max Health, and I've got Max Attack, Adamant Nature as the EV spread. The only thing I was worried about here was hitting myself in confusion, and look at the damage it did to me. That was, like, devastating. So, unfortunately, Espeon's going to have Psychic too, and that is going to be the end of Jigglypuff. When I say Jigglypuff, I always think of the anime episodes when it sang us a little, Jigglypuff, and then it, like, got the texture out and drew, like, stuff on all like the circles on people's like faces and stuff like that. It was amazing, and so was my singing. So next Pokemon I'm going to swap in is going to be Wigglytuff. I got that Citrus Berry activation, and I frisked out its Focus Band. It's pure filth. Now Espeon's going to go for another Attract here, and I'm hoping I can land an attacking move on this, because I know stuff like Yawn is coming my way, or possibly a Psychic, you know what I mean? So I've got that going now. Espeon's going to go for another Yawn here on my Wigglytuff. Of course, like, why wouldn't it do that? So I'm attracted, and I'm going to be asleep the next turn, but I managed to get the Body Slam off, which is great, and that is going to be the end of the Espeon. So I'm very, very happy about that. So bye-bye, Espeon. You are a pain in the butt. Next Pokemon is going to be Mamoswine. This thing was like a real threat. So swapping out my Wigglytuff here, I don't really want to be asleep, and going into my Jigglypuff. This is my Mimic set. It was really kind of bad, but it was fun to use. Now the Mamoswine's going to go for a Curse here, so it's going to raise its defense and attack by 1 stage. So Mamoswine already has like a really good attack stat, and it's reasonably bulky as well. So I was kind of scared what moves this thing had. So I've got Protect, Mimic, Draining Kiss, and Charge Beam with the competitive ability. And I've got, as the EV spread, Max Health, and I've got Max Special Attack on this set. I think my other Jigglypuff was Max Attack. I might have said that we swapped them around. Anyway, so I've got a competitive boost here from Mud Slap, which is great, and Draining Kiss Mist. It's pure filth, and it's got Fissure as well. So it's got Mud Slap and Fissure so far. That's cruel. So go for Draining Kiss and actually landed this time. I got a lot of damage here on Mamoswine. This was like quality. And then the Mamoswine, right, goes to Stomping Tantrum. It's going to be double base power because of the Fissure missing. And my Jigglypuff gets absolutely melted there. This is actually a threat. Like, that had +1 on the Fissure missing. That's crazy. Double base power and +1. Scary. Scary stuff. So swapping in my Wigglytuff now. I've got to take this out. I can see it's got a Bright Powder. These are some scummy items. Going for the Drain Punch there, but since it's, Wigglytuff's attack isn't that great and had a +1, it really did, like, nothing. Now Mamoswine is going to be going for a Mud Slap again. It's unfortunate I don't have competitive on this set, and that's going to obviously make my accuracy really, really low. So I went for Drain Punch again. Of course it missed, and now Mamoswine's going to go for Fissure, and it missed. So I know that Stomping Tantrum is coming away here. I'm like, Well, that's going to be Wigglytuff now. So I went for the Drain Punch. I was crossing my fingers. Wait, this Wigglytuff doesn't have fingers. And I was hoping for a crit there on Drain Punch. It never happened. And here comes a Stomping Tantrum at double base power with the +1. And that's going to be the end of Wigglytuff. I tried, people. This thing is hitting like an absolute monster truck. So next Pokemon I've got is going to be my last Pokemon too. That's going to be my Wigglytuff. Now, this Wigglytuff is an Assault Vest special attacking set. So I've got Fire Mist, Dazzling Gleam, Psychic, and Tri-Attack. And I've got Modest Nature, and I've got Max Health and Max Special Attack. I've got the ability as Frisk as well. So I tried to cover all the the abilities I could. So Competitive's going to get a nice little boost here from the Mud Slap, and Dazzling Gleam actually connects, and that is going to be the end of the Mammoth one. That was a troll set. It's dangerous, you know, with that Fissure and Stomping Tantrum. Next Pokemon is going to be the Rayquaza. I'm like, what is this going to be? Like, I'm scared of this set. I do have +2 in Special Attack. I know that I can drop it. I just have to live the attack, and it's going to be Thunder Wave. So I don't even want to know what the next move it's going to use. I know that it can't use something scummy like Twister, so I wonder what the other move is going to be. I just went for a Dazzling Gleam now. I do want to play any games with that thing, and Rayquaza is going to go down. So it's very, very good. There's only one more Pokemon left, and that is going to be the Persian Alola. So this set was a Foul Play and Toxic set, and I actually just took it out with one Dazzling Gleam. Like, +2 is pretty scary, and that's it. And they really had nothing for my Wigglytuff there in the end. I think they were relying on their Mammoth one or Rayquaza to take it up. But a really, really interesting team there. Some very, very cool sets. Thank you for the battle, Daniel. And let's get on to battle number 2. I must have said battle number 3 there. This was a battle against Schuyler, and we're on a different stadium. We're up the just like it's interesting because this one doesn't have a crowd, it's sort of like more silent. So the first Pokemon we got here is going to be the Arrokuda. Now also one thing, I've got some food being delivered at the moment, so I've got my phone here just checking for the driver. I don't want the driver to rock up while I'm narrating because it'd be like super awkward. But anyway, I gotta check my food while I'm narrating. This is very important stuff. So we got the Arrokuda going for a Rain Dance here. It's got a Focus Sash, and this thing is obviously going to be able to outspeed my entire team, right? It's going to have Swift Swim. So I take a little bit of damage there from Wild Charge. Now it's going to hit me with a Liquidation. And I can tell you what, Jigglypuff got liquidated with that shot. So bye-bye, Jigglypuff. Bye-bye. Now the next Pokemon I'm going to swap in is going to be Igglybuff. So this is a counter set, as you already know. And I really can't do much here. Sorry, no, this is my Body Slam set. So I thought I could take it out with Body Slam, right? Or Scythe Blast, doesn't really matter. And then I can make use of Endeavor Custard Berry on the next Pokemon. The only thing is I wasn't really worried about it actually living in attack because it was like hindering in defense and it wasn't that bulky and it one shot. I was like, man, that really sucks. But I thought that'd be a good effort to try and do it, but it didn't really pay off. Next Pokemon is going to be Wigglytuff here. I got to take, you know what, I'm going to get roasted for this. I actually have to Dynamax Wigglytuff here and go for, I can either go for Max Knuckle or I can go for Max Airstream. I thought Knuckle would be the best way to give my attack boost. So I know that I'm going to get roasted for Dynamaxing against an Arrokuda on 1 health, like with a Wigglytuff, but sometimes you got to do it, people. So I'll take the roast in the comment section there. I'm self-roasting right now, so no one else can do that. So here we go, guys. Actually, this arena suits Wigglytuff. Looks nice and pink. So I'm going to go for Max Knuckle. I've got a lot of health there, but look at the damage that Arrokuda actually does through Liquidation. Does a lot. Like, I'd say this thing was running Adamantation for sure. So I get a defense drop there. That would have been good on a special attacking set with competitive, and that's going to be the end of the Arrokuda. Now, this also is a theme team as well, so if you can guess what this theme team is, let me know in the comment section. It's a really cool one as well. So, two of these, back-to-back, really cool theme teams. Next Pokemon is going to be Shelter. It's actually quite a nice, shiny Pokemon Shelter. So, like, okay, this isn't going to be too hard. I might be able to get some Max Knuckles up against this thing. Maybe I should get, like, I don't know, maybe I should get like an Airstream. Or the driver's on its way. Oh no, I may have to pause the narration here. Hopefully not. So go for the Max Airstream here against the Shelter, and it does nothing. Apparently they're going to be here in 10 minutes, so it's gonna be cutting it close. So I reckon it's going to go for the Toxic here, and I get poisoned. So it is what it is. That's fine. I mean, I feel like I can definitely take a couple more Pokemon out here before the Wigglytuff actually faints. And I've got the Citrus Berry as well, which will help some form of recovery, right? So I can go for Max Knuckle here and hopefully almost take out the Shelter. Maybe the next hit with a Play Rough, something like that. So going for Max Knuckle, which is going to be good there. I've got +2 in attack now. And this Shelter is really, really bulky. Like, super, super bulky. I'm thinking this is running like max health and max defense with Everlight. And I'd say its ability would probably be Shell Armor. That works quite nicely on Shoulder too. I actually run like a bulky one myself, but I ran it on Shoulder and Cloyster. It was really quite good with, I had like a Toxic and Clamp set, which is, pretty bulky. I actually kind of missed the move Clamp. It was quite interesting. So that's going to be the end of Wigglytuff's Dynamax at least, and I really have to take this thing out, you know what I mean? It's going to be sleeping at the moment. I went for Play Rough here. Play Rough does pretty good damage, but it's still a 3-hit KO, which is unfortunate. I get an attack drop, though, but that's not really going to matter. Now, the Shoulder is going to have Sleep Talk, and Sleep Talk is going to actually get it interesting. It's not going to get a Clamp, but it's going to get it Whirlpool. So it's obviously a Toxic and Whirlpool trapping set here. So I'm trapped in the Vortex at the moment. I'm going to eat my Citrus Berry, and Wigglytuff is probably going to be around for like another couple of turns. But I really want to take out the Shoulder, you know what I mean? Or just put it on a lower amount of health. That's sort of like the idea here, you know what I mean? So there goes the Whirlpool again, and I've probably got like 1 or 2 more turns left there. So popping that Play Rough here on the Shoulder, very good damage. I can take it out the next turn. Hopefully Shoulder doesn't get Whirlpool. Hopefully not. I actually don't think it's going to matter at this point. I quite like how it waves its tongue around while it's doing its Sleep Talk. So it's going to get the classic Sleep Talk rest. Wigglytuff is going to take some more toxic damage, and I am actually going to be fainting here to the Whirlpool, which is kind of unfortunate on the next turn. So it's going to be I think it's going to be a double KO here. So popping that Body Slam, and that's going to be the end of the Shoulder. The driver is 5 minutes away. I don't know whether I'm going to have to pause this or not. I'm not really sure. I might actually, you know what? I'm going to actually pause the battle. Okay, I'm back. I got my order and we're good to go. So I'm going to be swapping in my Wigglytuff here. You know what? Before I do that, I'm going to open that drink right there. So we got I almost got a Dricloak. We got a Dreepy here. So I can go for a Dazzling Gleam against this. This should do some really good damage. Now, Dreepy's going to go for a Swift, and I can tell you what, Dreepy's special move pool is absolute garbage, so that actually did a fair bit of damage when you think about it. So that's going to get one-shotted by the Dazzling Gleam. Poor Dreepy, and that's half the team down. The next Pokemon is going to be Pupitar, so this could be an Everlight set. I really don't know what it's going to be. So what I did right is I actually went for a Tri-Attack because I thought I might be able to burn this in case it's like a physical set. But, you know, it was a really like long shot, maybe a Paralyze or something like that. So popping the Tri-Attack there, and you know what? I actually got a burn. It was really, really funny. I was like, wow, that was like super, super lucky. I guess the only thing I had to worry about whether the Shed Skin was actually going to kick in, but then the Pupitar was going to be running a special set because it popped out a Ancient Power. So popping that Dazzling Gleam there, Dazzling Gleam's doing very good damage. I'll be able to take it out the next turn. I think the strongest move this gets is like Ancient Power and Earth Power. That's about it. Like, I've used special Pupitar before. I can tell you what, it's pretty garbage. If it gets a couple of Ancient Powers up, it gets absurdly bulky, but it's very, very lucky whether you actually can get that. Now, the next Pokemon to come out here is going to be Klinklang. I was thinking, okay, wait, I mean Klink, not Klinklang. You get the idea anyway. I'm getting confused here. So I can go for Fire Blast. That'll do a solid amount of damage. So let's pop that one right now. It's going to be a Steel Beam. So I was like, oh no. I wonder how much this is going to do. So it fires it Steel Beam me, and that is going to be the end of Wigglytuff. And it also got rid of half its health too. But then I had a plan right. So wait a second. Wait a second, I can go into Jigglypuff here, and as you know, if you've been watching, right, this Jigglypuff does have Protect. So I'm going to use Protection, right, because sometimes you need to do that, and it's going to go for a Steel Beam and take itself out with a Steel Beam. I don't know, I still say to this day, it's funny that Steel Beam actually does recall damage here. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, you know what I mean? Like, high jump kick makes sense because you crash and stuff like that, but I don't know. Anyway, so the last Pokemon is going to be Spectra, and this is going to be the Dynamax Pokemon. Now, I know this is not going to obviously be a special attacking set, but I've got no idea what it's actually going to be. And I have used up my Dynamax earlier on because I got roasted by the Arrokuda like early on in the battle. I had the Dynamax against it. So it's going to be interesting to see what the set this is going to be. Now it's going to go for a Max Mindstorm. And as you can see there, it doesn't do a lot of damage. So it's definitely a physical set. If that was coming from a special move, like Jigglypuff would have got wiped right out of this battle run. So this time I actually went for a Mimic because I had no idea that Spectra would actually Dynamax this turn, and Mimic fails against Dynamax Pokemon. So unfortunately, I had to swap it out. I'm going to go into Igglybuff now because when you think about this Igglybuff moveset, all I can do is counter, protect, Uproar, none of those work. The only move I can really do is Flamethrower, and Flamethrower is going to do monkeys against this thing, so I just used it as a meat shield for the Dynamax of the Spectre. So that's the best I could really do. So bye-bye Igglybuff. I guess you serve your purpose in this matchup. So it's going to get a Groomnate. Well, I hope it doesn't have a special move because I'm about to be destroyed. And I'm going to swap in Jigglypuff right now. So I know that it's got a Psychic type move. That's about it. That's really all I know about this set. So Spectre obviously is going to go first. I went for Protect just to see what move it would use. I just wanted to see. I could even mimic it too. And it used Substitute. I'm like, oh no, it's got Substitute. That's not what I wanted. So I was thinking to myself, well, I might be able to mimic a move. So I went for Sub again. I was like, wait, was that a misclick? Or is that what I think it might be? So there's a double sub there. I copied Substitute. I've got that now, which is fire. And I can go for Draining Kiss. Now the Calyrex is going to go for the Stop Big Tantrum. I was like, it's like a double stopping tantrum. Look at the damage it did to my Jigglypuff. It did nothing. So I popped out a Charge Beam here. I'm trying to break that sub. Getting pretty desperate right now, and I've got a special attack boost. Like, hey, that's actually pretty good, you know. Got that boost there. Spectre's still going to be on the sub, and now it's going to go for yet another Stopping Tantrum here. So Stopping Tantrum is not going to take Jigglypuff out. Unfortunately, it's still behind the Substitute, so I just went for Draining Kiss to try and get some health recovery back, and of course, break the Substitute too. But I feel like I'm not going to get enough health back after breaking that, and this thing is going to be able to take me out. So I got a little bit of health back, but it wasn't enough. The Psychic move was Psycho Cut. So that's the end of my Jigglypuff, but a pretty cool battle and some really cool theme teams today. I hope you enjoyed both of them. And once again, if you could guess what they were, leave it below in the comment section. And if you enjoyed it too, please leave a like, and I'll catch you next time.